Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be making bracelets that I wish existed. I made a video not too long ago where I created a bunch of different bracelet designs, and in that video, I wasn't able to finish all of the bracelet designs that I had laid out. Today is finally the day where I complete some more of those bracelet designs. I don't know if I'll be able to make all of the bracelets today. I might have to do this over the course of a few days. The beads that I have to work with are so pretty, so let's get started with creating some bracelets that are super unique. And today's item is a beetle bracelet. This design has been waiting to be made for the longest time. Now is finally the day that I'm going to make it. We've got a little glass plate and a scooping spoon, and it's now time to scoop some beads for this next design. As this is a beetle bracelet, of course, we're going to start with the beetle beads. Next up, we have some little blue flowers. Oh. As this bracelet has already been designed and it has just been waiting to be made, I already know which beads to choose. The first step is to wire all of the beads, and this is quite a time-consuming process, especially when a design has a lot of different types of beads. This design in particular has a lot of leaf beads and of course the beetle beads, which are going to be the star of this design. The very first step is actually not the wiring. The first step is arranging all of the beads so that we have a better idea of what we're working with. Although I have already designed this bracelet, so I do have a rough idea of where I want everything to be, I still need to go ahead and lay everything out because it just makes things a lot easier. And yeah. This is the final bead layout. This bead is going to be at the end of the extension chain, and all of these little leaf beads are going to be hanging on the sides of the bracelet. Then we have the beetles, the flower bead, and this iridescent heart. Last but definitely not least, we have this little green bead. Here are all the tools, so let's get started. All of the main beads have just been wired. And now moving on to the leaves. Can we just take a moment to admire how pretty all of these different types of leaves look? Really love these ones right here that look like they've been eaten by caterpillars. You probably will have seen this leaf in a lot of my different shop designs. I tend to use this leaf quite a lot. These jump rings are needed for the leaves. Just a few. Oops. The last leaf. Time to arrange all of the beads once again. This is the layout. Really happy with it. It took me a very long time to figure out where I wanted each one of the leaves to be. I didn't want two of the same leaves to be next to each other. Like for example, these leaves right here, they're different sizes, but they look very similar. So I wanted to make sure that the leaves that look similar are spaced apart so that it doesn't clash with the design. Currently putting the bracelet together, and this is the progress so far. The next bead is a leaf, one of the little leaves. And then the next bead is a beetle. People always talk about how beautiful butterflies are, but beetles are very underrated and they're actually just as beautiful. Like these beads, for example, are so pretty. They're iridescent and they have this sheen that beetles in real life have as well. You can always go to the shops and find butterfly jewelry, but it's a lot harder to find beetle jewelry. When I saw these beads, I knew that I had to make a beetle bracelet. The leaves are a really nice touch because that is basically the diet of a beetle, so it's in its natural habitat. I don't think it would be as beautiful if the leaves were all the same, so I really like that they're all different. It's not a sunny day today, but if you wear this beetle bracelet in the sun, it really does shimmer and shine because of how iridescent it is. We've now reached the last step, which is adding the extension chain and the clasp. Here we have the completed beetle bracelet. Again, I really cannot get over how pretty all of the different leaves look. These are the three types of beads I'm going to use to make the nut bracelet. We've got an almond, a peanut, and a brown leaf bead. I've made all of the loops for the beads and now it's time to add the almonds. These are the almonds, look how cute they are. This bracelet is about 6 inches long and I haven't even added the clasp yet. It's already long enough for me to stop adding beads. However, I still have this one little almond that I was planning to use. So I think what I'm going to do with this almond is I'm going to add it to the end of the extension chain as a little extension chain detail like this. So I'm going to add the clasp and some extension chain, and this is going to be hanging at the end of the extension chain. I was worried that the brown leaves wouldn't go with the whole nut theme, but they really do match this bracelet so well. It looks like these nuts were picked in a forest. These brown leaves just bring it all together. So I'm going to go ahead and add the clasp right now so that I can finish off this bracelet. The clasp and the extension chain have just been added, and this is the finished bracelet. I want to make this one next, and this is a design that I would normally make using silver metal, but I have some bracelets that are already uploaded in my shop that are kind of similar and they're made using silver. So I think I want to make this one in gold. The base of the necklace has been completed. These are all of the little flowers. I'm just going to measure it again to make sure that it's the right length. Just going to add this little chain to the end of the bracelet. Now that the base has been finished, it's time to move on to the best part, which is adding all of the little details. I'm going to measure it one more time. It's the perfect length. This is the longest length and this is the shortest length. These are the flowers and the glass drops I'm going to be adding to this bracelet. I didn't want to end the bracelet with this flower bead because it's very heavy, so I just added one of these droplets at the end as well. It is officially the last day of making bracelets that I wish existed. Because it's the last day, I really want to end this on a good piece, and I've decided to create a cob bracelet. I had the idea to make this bracelet when I saw these beads that look like loaves of bread, and I've kind of based the entire bracelet concept around these beads. Let me show you what the beads look like. This is the bead. They're a bit shiny and they have this metallic-y look. I was really racking my brain trying to think of what other types of cobs I could add to this bracelet. This is what I came up with. I was really thinking hard what kind of bead could be used to resemble pasta. Then I saw these beads, and these beads are supposed to be tiny flowers, but I thought I could take two of these beads and put them together, and they could look like pasta. So I'm going to take a few of these. You can kind of see it looks like a little piece of pasta. Not sure what this type of pasta is called, but I think it looks really cute. It is the perfect size because these are the grains of rice and they're very small, so the pasta beads have to be small as well. These are the next beads. These ones resemble sliced up pieces of potato. So to summarize, for the cobs, we have bread, potato, rice, and pasta. One thing about this bracelet is that all of the beads I'm using are not originally meant to be what I'm turning them into, if that makes sense. The next decision that needs to be made is what type of metal to use for this bracelet. The options are stainless steel or gold-plated stainless steel. Now, I don't know what you think. Personally, I think that potato is a gold girly, and I think that gold is the only right answer for this cobs bracelet. So I'm going to be going with gold-plated stainless steel. I'm really curious to know if the pasta concept will work. So this is the first one that I'm going to be putting together. So adorable. It's now time to arrange all of these beads so that we can see how they're going to look on the bracelet. This is the layout that we currently have. We've got 3 loaves of bread and 3 slices of potato. One of these beads is going to be at the end of the extension chain. All that's left to do is add these 3 pasta beads and some grains of rice as well to this bracelet. I'm going to add these beads in between the potato and bread beads, like this. It would probably look best if we do like a pasta bead and then a grain of rice and then pasta bead, a grain of rice, and so on. I think I want to end this on a grain of rice because we've got the pasta bead at the end of the extension chain. So I don't want to end it on a pasta bead and then also have pasta at the end as well. I think it will look too messy. So let's do it like that. Okay, that is just about right. I really hope that this bracelet will be long enough because if I add another bead, it will make the bracelet uneven. And also, for example, if I add another slice of potato at the end here, then when the bracelet is closed, there will be 2 pieces of potato right next to each other. I'm going to put this together and hopefully it's long enough. I'm always running out of eye pins and I end up having to cut the heads off of these head pins in order to turn them into eye pins. I'm just using what I have on hand. I will probably end up needing head pins soon and then there'll be none left because I've turned them all into eye pins. It's a bit of a vicious cycle, but I always need to remind myself to get more pins whenever I shop for supplies. That is like one of the main things that I use for jewelry making. There are a lot of loops in the type of jewelry that I make, and it is extremely important that all of these loops are closed properly and are secure, because if they're not, then the piece of jewelry could break, and obviously that is not what we want. We do not want that to happen. So I always take my time and make sure that all of the loops are closed securely. The first bead is a grain of rice. Next, we have a slice of potato. Next, I'm going to add a pasta bead and a loaf of bread. Just going to keep on adding beads until the bracelet reaches a good length. I want to add a little extra detail right before the extension chain, so I made this. It's such a small, tiny, simple detail, but I really like the way that it looks. Decided to add one more little bead, and this bead is a grain of rice. Now it's time to add the tiny little detail. Adding this piece of extension chain. Always like to have extension chains at the ends of all the bracelets I make. Last but not least, we cannot forget about the little pasta detail at the end. Actually didn't end up making too big of a mess. I guess it helped a lot that I had already planned the design for this bracelet. Planning in advance definitely helps. Starting off strong, we have the nut bracelet. These peanut beads were supposed to be coffee beans from the bead shop that I got them from. That's what they were advertised as, but they really look like peanuts. This is the next bracelet. It is the beetle bracelet. If you're a bug lover, you're going to need this bracelet because it is so pretty. It's got all these different types of leaves. And I had to include a little flower bead as well because when I think of insects and bugs, and other little critters, I think of flowers as well. All of the bracelets that I make for my shop have little beads at the end of the extension chains. This bracelet looks like it came straight out of a fairy tale. The flowers are so shiny and iridescent. Last but not least, we have the bracelet that I just finished making, which is the carbs bracelet. Those are all of the bracelets that I created throughout this week. I really hope you loved these designs. Would really love to know which bracelet was your favorite. So please feel free to comment down below and let me know which one you like the best. If you're interested in any of these designs, they will be in my shop by the time that you see this video. So please make sure to check out the link that is in the description box down below. There are so many beads that I have yet to use in my bead collection, so I might be making a part 2 for this video. I've made a lot of different bracelets in these past few months, so I think I want to either create a necklace or an earring collection soon. Maybe I'll do both. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any of my future small business videos. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week.